All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. It's actually kind of cold outside
It's
today.
very
I think I think it's a little, maybe a little frosty out there. So we've been talking a lot about relationships, and it's kind of spiraled into some different topics. And one thing that we wanted to talk about is parenting. We kind of talked about being a dad a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But we want to talk more about parenting in general and how important it is to co-parent and what that looks like.
Yeah.
And if you want to introduce who we got here today.
Yeah. So I've been fucking excited about this. So you don't probably know this, but when I speak about you guys, I tell everyone you are the standard, the model of what co-parenting should and is, and you guys should write a book. And so I don't know how long I've known you guys. So Steve, far whatever side that is, and
Yep.
Didy, I've trained with you. I've trained you. I've trained your son. I'm pretty sure he was Washington State's first youth MMA match.
He was.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
He was.
that was a long
I
time
was
ago.
looking at pictures last night of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually.
And now he's one of the greatest human men that I know.
I agree.
I
I'm
mean,
biased.
Yeah.
I do agree.
So I can never not speak highly enough of him, which in turn brings me back to you guys because I think the world of both of you, and that's not even enough because anyways. So we got you guys here today, and that's kind of what we're gonna.
Well, I think like
going
what he
with.
was saying about the son that you guys have raised. You know, we in our conversations have talked about how important it is to have fathers in the life of men,
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
both daughters and sons. But you know, sometimes gets tricky when you're a single parent. Or even a co-parent. You know, my relationship is very traditional. I'm, married 20 years, got 3 boys. My wife stayed home. I raised, I worked, so we had a very traditional,
Yeah.
Typical marriage. Chris, on the other hand, was really a single dad raising his daughter. And it just speaks volumes to when you guys choose to do it together. Even though you're not together, and you focus on the same thing. And we just love to hear your guys' story.
Yeah, no,
of how
absolutely.
that happened.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wasn't always kittens and rainbows.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
tell you that.
We had a
lot
right
of
out the
growth
gate.
periods in
Yeah,
there.
and I think we still do. We
Yeah.
still grow.
Yeah.
And I think when you talk about kids, that's the biggest thing that kids need. They need parents that are willing to do that work, and be willing to grow.
Mhm.
And we had our kids. We do have another child, not just our son.
Mhm.
But we were young.
Yeah,
I
19.
grew up with them, so
Okay.
there was a lot of trial and error, and within that. So
Yeah. So I like that you said that because we talked about that. All of us here were young parents, right?
Yes.
I got married right after I turned 21, and we had our first son right away. And my parents did the same thing, and my grandparents did the same thing. And I think that our kids, when we do that together, they get to grow up with us, and they get to see what life looks like.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
I remember when my first 2 older boys for sure. The first 5 years of our life we lived in apartments. And then during the recession, we couldn't afford to live in an apartment by ourselves, so we had to move in with some friends, and they got to experience what that looked like and the sacrifices that we had to make with us. So I think being a young parent's great. Is it challenging? 100%.
right.
But
Mhm.
I think it makes good kids. I think it makes them real. As long as you do it right, I think it makes them realize what the real world looks
Oh,
like.
absolutely. Oh,
Yeah, they do. They get to see us make more mistakes. I think oftentimes when a mature adult that is, even if they're self-centered and in a healthy place, as they get kids, they hide a lot of their craziness that they may have gone through from the kids. Understandably, they want to
Uh-huh.
protect
Mhm.
that mind, and then there's some with that protection, you lose some truths, right?
Yeah.
There's pros and cons to it, but
Yeah.
our kids got to see us make the
Raw.
mistakes, and then I think we've been
Lots of
in
mistakes.
such a good place with each other for so long. We've also talked to the kids later on, and maybe at the time about the mistakes, depending on what
Mhm.
it was and how mature they were, how old they were.
Well, if you don't
combination of
mind me asking that question, how did you guys? How did you guys come to this point, and how did that work? Because that's not an easy. It's not
No.
a, hey, we talk
No.
over the phone, we make a decision. This is what we're doing.
it.
Shake hands on it. I'm assuming there were years of growth and years of things that didn't go well to get to the point that you guys are at now. I mean, would you guys be comfortable telling
Oh
us
no,
that
Yeah,
story?
that's
absolutely,
kind of why
man.
we're here. I mean,
Okay.
when we separated, we were married really young, right? I was barely
I
18.
just had a boot camp.
He was just out of
Okay.
boot
Okay.
camp, so did that whole military thing,
Mhm.
moved around, and then as we kind of grew into the adults later, it was amicable. When we split, and then we're not using names, but other
Yeah,
people came
I'm happy to
into
share.
relationship, but it wasn't. We did the court thing, we did
Mhm.
the nasty, we did the slinging mud thing, and then I think we both just had this. We were still actually in the whole court system, and then we were just like, we're done with this. I
Mhm.
don't have the energy for it. I don't have
Madness.
the bandwidth for it.
Mm.
The ugliness of it. I was like, this world is ugly enough,
Mhm.
and I don't want our children, the most important people to them, their parents, and then them seeing us at each other's throat. I think we both came to the epiphany. This isn't healthy.
You got was that like a conversation?
No, I think it was more just
We
under,
stopped confirming court dates.
yeah.
Is how it started.
I think
That's how it
I
started.
honestly think
I
she
was
threw
like,
the first olive branch out. So to back it up a little bit, and I'm happy to share. Like, so when we got
I'm his fact checker.
we got yeah, she was
Yeah.
cool. She
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, she
Got some documents in the car.
whatever she says will become the new fact.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Whatever.
That's how we get along
Yeah.
now.
So yeah. So we got divorced, and it was like we both had a good run, and I think we knew that we just needed more growth outside of each other. Because you get married young, there's going to be limitations on growth, even the
True.
best marriage, even if it's
Yeah.
30 years later. And then it was a homie handshake, a hug. We went to this place called
Oh, yeah.
Peaceful Separations. It cost us $500. We
Mm.
worked
Yeah.
everything out on our own, and then it was about a year later. Let's just say 2 years later. So I hadn't been in relationships, and some of this stuff, honestly, we haven't even talked about together. Going back,
Okay.
revisiting. So it's pretty cool to kind of to share some of this. I know looking back, I wasn't fully healed from our relationship, the divorce, because it takes time,
Mhm.
and I didn't understand a mourning period. I didn't understand myself.
Mm.
I wasn't really connected with myself at the time.
What age were you?
We had to be like 28,
Oh,
28?
29. Yeah, because
yeah.
Okay.
actually,
So you guys were
Okay.
married almost 10 years
We were
then?
10 years.
Okay. It wasn't
yeah.
like
Yeah.
this was a
Oh no, we had a good
3-year.
run.
No,
Okay.
Yeah.
we had a good
Okay.
run,
Wow.
and like
Okay.
multiple deployments, and
Yeah.
moved. I mean, probably to 10 different houses.
Oh,
and
yeah.
No, we had a good run, and even that was good times. Not like
Yeah.
we were unhappy with our lives.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we just grew into different places like
Mhm.
that. And so yeah, looking back, I hadn't healed from our relationship, and I didn't understand what that meant. I didn't understand what the divorce meant. There's so much I didn't understand about myself.
Mhm.
And then of course, rose-colored glasses, first relationship I got into after ended up I got married again, and then I do have a 15-year-old son who's awesome
Mhm.
kid. But in that marriage process, she saw some things I didn't see because I had rose-colored glasses on. And so I pushed back on her when she was trying to tell me, like, hey man, watch out for these items.
Mhm.
And so that her looking out for me, really, and me not understanding, is what caused, I would say, maybe a 2-year hard period that we had.
Yeah,
And
it
when you say
was.
look at, sorry, like when you
Yeah.
say like when she was pointing out things, was she pointing out things about you? Or was she
No,
pointing out things in your
in the
relationship?
relationship,
Okay.
and it was just the non-healthy aspects. But
Okay.
she was right, and she was right, and she was looking out for me more than anything.
Mhm.
And of course, in that state of mind, I became defensive
Mhm.
of it, and then I think looking back, when things digressed for those couple years, it definitely was primarily on me for not having the awareness of the steps, and it wasn't intentional. But I didn't understand. I didn't know.
Mm.
I didn't know what I was going through. So
There was a lot of mistakes, not just
Mhm.
for both of us. I
so
mean, I like how he's, laying the foundation there. I'm not opposed to it, but like
Good on you, bro. Yeah.
thanks, man. But I had some culpability. Like I can come off combative at times.
No.
Yeah, I'm aggressive. So my delivery could have been a lot better, but it did aid in a lot of tension
Mhm.
with the two of us. That's what ended in court dates, and that's when I think it got really, really, really bad. And then from there, seeing how nasty it was, I think we both were just like, okay, I don't have the energy. I got to be a mom.
Mhm.
I'm
yeah,
putting too much energy into this mudslinging that we just had this. Actually, it was. It's all. We were being real. He had another girlfriend who I love her to this day. And she was the one like, you guys need to get your shit together. She was from the
Oh yeah.
The South, I
country a
take it?
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was Southern. She's like, she was just, I love her to death. And I think she was kind of like, he entered that relationship with her and it made him kind of open his eyes because she wasn't a negative factor anymore.
Mhm.
It was somebody that, and I didn't even know her before. So she kind of, I feel like she kind of brought us to where we could be more amicable and actually sit in a room and start having conversations again.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, the first olive branch, at least from my perspective, was one of Rage's wrestling tournaments. So to complete the picture of co-parenting here, there's a third party. So Didy's remarried,
Yes.
and her husband is fucking. Are you guys what adult?
Can you
like,
say F
You can
words
say whatever
here?
the fuck you
All right,
want.
so I-
Yeah, you're
Greg, you
good.
edit
Yeah.
here, right?
He doesn't know a lot of words. Like he
Yeah.
uses the F word for everything. So
her husband Kane he is awesome. I love the man. He's better than a brother to me.
Nice.
He helped. He is a father of our kids too.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I was gone a lot of years with the Navy, and she, you know, luckily, when she did get in a relationship and eventually married, I mean, she couldn't have picked a better like trifecta for us.
Nice.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's a great man. He loves our kids. Like he's fully involved with all aspects. And so she, I'm sure he was part of the conversation. They invited me to one of the wrestling tournaments. After Rage got in high school, and I just got off deployment or underway or something. I'd been gone, and it was the first one I was able to go to, and it was all three of us there at the same time. And it's not like we sat on different sides of the
The
arena.
bleachers,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it was like we were all together, and that was really the beginning of the amazing life
Healing,
that
I
we
would
had.
say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And they were about what? I think Rage was he ninth grade
Yeah,
then?
ninth. Yeah, just
I
when
think he
started
was ninth
wrestling.
grade. It was
Oh,
right when
wow.
he started kind of high school wrestling.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah. Yeah, I actually asked him if he wanted to come today, and he's like, "I got to get dog food." He's like, "No, that's you. You guys,
It's
you guys
all
go
you
ahead and
guys,
say." He goes,
yeah.
"The dogs need to eat. Go ahead and take my car."
And that's what we're talking about. So we have a daughter too, Ember.
Yeah.
So Rage is our oldest, 27. So like full manhood. We're
Mhm.
now we're
Just had a baby.
just
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
brand new
Just
grandparents.
grandparents,
Yeah,
that's
it's
Yeah.
pretty
nice.
dope.
That's
That's
why he's
awesome.
here.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
our daughter is 24. Well, in a couple weeks she'll be 24,
Turned 24. Yeah.
and she's super amazing. Also, it's like great human. So
That's awesome. No, I think that's incredible, especially the fact that you guys can get together, like you guys get along with each other's new spouses, like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Like that's early, like
Oh, yeah.
that speaks a lot because I think there's a lot of people that can't do that.
But
So,
did you guys have conversations like you two and then you three, or you like how did you do that? How did you navigate that? Are there spoken or unspoken boundaries there? Like what is that?
No,
What-
I don't know if I know what the word boundaries really mean.
yeah, she doesn't.
I don't.
But
I think it was just organically. I think
Yeah.
because it just wasn't weird, and I'm kind of out of pocket a lot, and I was just like, "Hey, come sit over here, mf'er," like
Mhm.
blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
And it
Yeah.
just from that, like he would come and stay at our home,
yeah,
and
over
people
the years.
over the years, like when the kids were small, and Jamie, it's his name, he would just be like, "Oh, I'm not supposed to say names, huh?"
no, it's
Jamie,
fine.
I said
No,
it.
that-
Jamie,
that-
Jamie.
Yeah.
Hey, you're guys
But
married, you can do whatever.
yeah, he would go to people and he'd be like, "Oh, my kid's dad," and my baby's daddy, and people would kind of look at him kind of weird, and then he would just own it.
Jamie would say,
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, my
yeah.
baby's dad." Yep,
Mhm.
he'd go all the time. He's like, "Yeah, I got to go pick up my baby's daddy from the airport," and
Mhm.
kind of things like that.
Yeah, because in 2015, I got transferred out of the state, and it was the first time I ever lived away from the kids.
Okay.
And so I'd fly up pretty regular, and
Yeah.
they'd open up their home to me. And
But we've had lots of conversations though, especially me and you.
yeah,
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
Jamie as
I agree with
well.
that.
Yeah, we've had lots of conversations to where I don't think that there was things that we didn't talk about. I think we've talked about it all.
more or less, huh?
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
court documents went in the fire
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
because I didn't want to
I like it.
relive that
Yeah.
ever. Like
Mhm.
some people hang on to that. That was a ugly time.
Yeah.
Never wanted to go back and look again. So me and Jamie actually, when it was all, we hadn't even finished the court stuff, and we took it out to our fire pit, and there was healing in that too, and we just burned it.
Yeah.
So I don't even have anything that resembles that time in our life anymore.
Yeah, same.
If you're gonna move forward, you gotta move forward.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
can't go back. And but there was some mean things said, both of us.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I couldn't, to this day, I couldn't even I honestly remember, but I didn't want anything to where I would go back and it would spark those memories. So we had to close that door
Wow.
and we had to move forward. And he's also remarried now too.
Interesting.
And I love her. She's a great role model for my daughter and my daughter-in-law now. She's a boss lady,
Nice.
and so it was never, I mean, you think at the time, it's like when he was just like, oh, I had rose-colored glasses on, and then you think it's like I was pushing back at that relationship, like it was a jealousy thing, and that other individual really pushed that narrative, like, oh, like I was kind of
Yeah.
like she was coming in on my territory.
Mm,
But it was, and you often think yourself, is that what it is? Or am
yeah.
I sensing this
Kind of
other
gut checking
energy?
yourself.
Yeah. But then he's had, like, with his first other relationship, um, that I just adored her. And like with Liz now, his wife now, I adore her. It was never what it was about.
Mm.
But it took, I think, both of us being in healthy after relationships
Mhm.
to kind of see that and have that kind of grounding we're now in a safe place. Like
Yeah.
there wasn't an outside influence
Mhm.
that was like pushing negativity, or like if you support me or love me, you have to be hateful to this person.
Yeah.
So is that fair?
Yeah,
All right.
totally.
So let me ask you this: when like when you were going through all this, were your kids pretty aware of the situation,
Our
or were you
son.
kind of shielding them from the reality?
No, there was no
Yeah.
shielding.
I mean, I
Okay.
think appropriate conversations weren't there, but generally,
Yeah.
like what was happening in life, we communicated with them, we let
Yeah.
them know, and plus, I mean, they're super aware.
Yeah.
Like, our kids.
They're more aware than we think. They are, aren't they?
100%.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if I wanted to rear it back though, if I was to ask, or if I was to say what I'm hearing is for this moment ago, right? If I'm hearing it correctly, it sounds to me that it's open communication.
Oh God, yeah.
Nothing's off the table. Like everything gets discussed. Um, it also sounds like it came from the most healthiest place that you could be at in that moment or in that season at that time. And a lot of ego and pride had to take the back seat on that,
especially that last piece.
Ego
yeah.
is the big
So
one.
like
Yeah.
if I was
Enemy.
to, because like I asked, what did you guys do? What if I was to sum that up? To me, that's what I'm hearing. That's what you guys did, was open communication.
Yeah, I think what Ryan Holiday, is that who the Stoic said it best? The ego is the enemy.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
and in everything. I think if like anybody,
Not
if,
mine, but
if
yeah.
you just
Yeah,
like
right,
approach, yeah, not
We're
me.
best buds.
We are best buds, me, myself, and I. It's the best person
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're willing to check that, if you can check your ego and you can subordinate it, I think it opens up the door for a lot of perspective for other
Mhm.
people. And I think right now, I mean, there's a lot that's going on right now that like if like people would just check their ego, and be willing to listen, I think and that was probably the biggest thing. We had to both be willing to listen and understand that we're going to disagree, because we're going to disagree, but we're going to need to respect each other's kind of position and space on things.
Mm.
Yeah,
What'd you say?
totally. And I think
Rach saw some shit though. Like I'm glad he's not here today, because he'd be like, objection.
Objection.
Yeah.
Let me get
He's
that.
like, who
so
are these
back in
people?
20,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
he probably does have.
He'd be
days
sitting
of
over there with his
fucking
jaw,
ninja
like, who are
minds.
these
Yeah.
people? Yeah, he's gonna have some questions when we get there.
Yeah, we're gonna be part 2 of this.
Yeah.
He's gonna watch it.
You're gonna
We need to
be-
make a trip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna be exactly.
Along with what you're saying with the ego and kind of how to move forward or how to find a healthy place, I think the what an aspect for me that was crazy important, and this isn't just like towards her, it's also towards myself, is understanding forgiveness
Mhm.
and how to forgive somebody. Because no matter what, even the best case, relationships that don't work out, there's hurtness, there's pain.
Mm.
And so understanding that, how to forgive and like peace and love at all fucking cost,
Yeah.
at all costs, at the cost of my ego, at the cost of sometimes you eat a shit sandwich or a bad conversation with your ex because maybe she's having a bad day, or you don't know, right? You're not in that life. And so many of us get reactive to it and want to like push back, but it got to a place where I think both of us were like, it's cool, bro, like let it out. I know you're having a bad day now. What the fuck,
Yeah.
what's really going on? There's a lot of forgiveness, and forgiveness is such a, I think we look at it as like okay, done, forgiveness next, but it's a proactive thing. And it's not like once you forgive doesn't mean feelings don't creep up again, right? So you may be forgiving multiple times for a certain scenario or a certain period of time, or that includes towards your own self and
Mm.
making terrible decisions and doing hurtful things and being able to move forward. But in the moment, I think forgiveness at all costs, because it's people will say, I'll do anything for my kids. It's like, yeah, will you
What?
stop
Yeah.
hating your ex,
Yeah.
no matter
Yeah.
Yeah.
even though
Yeah.
she
Would you sit down your ego? Would
Yeah.
sit
Would
down
you
your
yeah.
pride?
exactly?
yeah,
Yeah.
make peace with it. And it's
Yeah.
like, who cares? Like, okay, you got hurt and they did this to you and it was wrong. Get over it. Get over it, simplifying it, because it does take work to forgive and move past things.
Yeah.
But if people say, anything for my kids, well, how about love?
Yeah.
What are you going to do to make sure that your kids' hearts are 99% filled with love and everything else is lessons and just bounces off and doesn't take over their foundation. And I think that's a big part with our kids, is like they've had so much love growing up.
Oh,
It's
100%.
crazy
Well,
amount.
me and him both had some pretty, I would say, traumatic kind of upbringings.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we saw
Mhm.
what anger led to, and like it was really big for me. We had our kids, and I had them young, so I grew with them. But I wanted to end a generational trauma,
Yeah.
and the road that we were going down was just gonna. I had an epiphany. I don't want to say I hate I statements.
Mhm.
They sound so pompous. We sounds
Teamwork.
better.
There
Yeah,
you go.
teamwork. There's
Yeah,
no I
love
in
it.
anything. It's always we. So we wanted to end that trauma. So I think we
Yeah.
had conversations where like we need to be done with this. And I mean we're celebrating we have a brand new granddaughter. We went all
awesome.
three of us, she's my daughter-in-law and the baby. So I guess there's four of us now.
Mhm.
We went to Seattle to the aquarium. He paid for everything. It was great.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I'm
They
gonna let you
drove, so I was
pay.
cool with it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, do you still live in town, or do you?
No.
No, I live in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you still in the Navy?
No, I retired about 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm a free bird now.
Nice.
I got a couple fun kind of hobby jobs. But
Nice.
yeah.
No, I love what I'm hearing, and that's a good point. I feel like in marriage, I always say you have to wake up every day and choose us, right? Because
Yeah.
that's for better or for worse, right?
Right.
And then what I'm hearing is you guys made, it wasn't working out between you two, but you guys had kids, and then you decided to make that choice. Like we were going to wake up every day and choose them, no matter what it means to either one of us. We're going to do this together,
Mm.
Yeah.
And I think
No, I
kids
like that. Yeah.
kids catch
Yeah.
that,
We chose
like
them.
you did,
Yeah.
I
you
like
did,
that.
and like every kid that I've met, like as a kid, and like my kids' friends, and if they're in a divorced family and it's not healthy, like they never pick like mom or dad. They see both sides because they love both of them,
Right.
right? So like if you have an unhealthy relationship with your parents, or sorry, parents have an unhealthy relationship, and they have a mom just blasting the dad, or a dad just blasting the mom, it's not healthy. Like they love
No.
that other parent, likely, so they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear your frustrations. They just want you guys to get along
Right.
and just be there for them.
Right.
So I applaud you guys for doing what you've
Thank
done.
you. Yeah,
and
it
are
was. I
doing.
mean, again, like that's kind of why we're here, right? Because it's not easy.
Yeah.
But I will say for people willing to take that step in to subordinate ego, I'll say that a lot of times, and to kind of put aside differences for the betterment of the child will do so much better.
Mhm.
I mean, and then it's less energy.
Yeah.
Like hate, and it takes a
Mm.
lot of energy. It's not good for
Yeah.
you.
No. Yeah.
Like sickness, and it just
Oh,
it
that's
causes
true.
a lot of
It's a
problem.
true thing.
It
Mhm.
causes stress, which causes sickness. And
Yeah.
with him, and like he said, Jamie's not here today, but I'd say us three like raised our kids
100%.
like
100%.
together. Like it was we had good healthy relationship between all of us, and I think that our children will flourish, and also hopefully know what healthy relationships are, and that it doesn't matter like if you separate, that there can be a life meaning after that of happiness, and that's okay if people don't get along or they have to separate.
Yeah.
But we're still a family. I just went to my niece's wedding. She's my niece. She will all forever be my niece, but it's his sister, my sister. But they live in Denver
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
Yeah,
Colorado.
so we were out there. Like we
Yeah.
went independently, right?
Mhm.
She came
Yeah.
from here, I come from SoCal. And
Yeah.
It's like, hey, good to see you. Like, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
His
Mhm.
mom's still my mother-in-law. Yeah, so
That's awesome.
it's nice, but people think, oh wait, I can't believe okay, I just had to go pick homeboy up from the airport, and so I'm at work, and I'm like, hey, I got to go pick him up, and they're like, what? They're like, oh yeah, I'm like, they're like, I was like, I was way better ex-wife than I was wife.
That's how people same thing. Like I was lame. I'm such a
Beep,
great
beep.
ex-husband.
Yeah.
Phenomenal ex.
Yeah, but the shock from people, most
Mhm.
people are like, wait, what?
Yeah.
When they should be, you would think that they'd be like, oh, that's right on, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Or how?
The majority,
How?
oh, like, dude, give me the secret, something. But the majority of folks, when you say, or like, oh, he's staying at your house, there, that's but it shouldn't be that way, right? So we want to kind of switch that narrative
Yeah.
as well. And I wish more people,
Well,
and there's a lot of people that can
Ego
support
pride.
Yeah.
You guys set
Yeah.
it down. Then you
Yeah.
guys had communication, right? Like nothing
Right.
was off the table. You just talked,
Yeah.
and there wasn't always the best conversations. You know, you
Yeah,
had
it was
great
painful,
conversations,
for
and then
sure.
you probably had some arguments, right, where you
Oh, God, yeah.
disagreed, you didn't see eye to eye, but still walked away with whatever the number one goal was, right?
Yeah.
And I think that just rings across a true everywhere. Like whatever it is, whatever it is, it's the most important thing. So that I'm choosing that over my stubbornness or my hard-headedness. I don't have any of those, but
Yeah.
or
Nothing.
My hurt, my
Yeah.
pain,
There you
right?
go.
Which is a lot of it.
There you go.
That's what it sources back to, especially. Well, I don't want to say especially for men, but speaking from a male perspective, I mean, a good number of us haven't had good examples of healthy
Yeah.
healthy emotions for men. Like I never saw my dad cry like once
Yeah.
in my entire life. Luckily, I get my emotions from my mom and my emotional health. Like I feel like I'm extremely in touch with myself, and especially now as I've moved into my midlife wisdom. I'm 47 now, and thank God I'm not. There's no midlife crisis because I do love my life, but I'm able to look back and understand my decision making patterns that started from when I was a kid and up through now, and they make me a better man, a better husband for my wife Liz, and which you know, I'm grateful for that we, even in the tough times and the kids got to see us trifecta parent and they saw the hurt behind some of that. They lived a life of understanding and having an example of active forgiveness. Right. And from from father to son of rage, I'm grateful I was able to set a healthy emotional set in place for him. And then for our daughter, you know, she's had two, in my opinion, great examples. One being me, and the other being Jamie, her stepdad, of healthy, emotionally healthy men.
Oh yeah.
And it's been awesome. And him and I think, are pretty similar in a lot of ways. Where like we're kind of the chill ones in the relationship, and mom's a hammer. Right. So
It's not wrong.
yeah, and then like Amber, she used to
Sorry,
tell
children.
me, she's
Yeah.
like, Dad, can you just yell at me, please? Mom, just yell at me like Mom, get in my ass.
Yeah.
Or you just want to talk and talk and talk. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, baby, suffer.
Yeah.
Long term suffer. Like, let's
Yeah.
go. We're gonna explain and
Yeah.
talk to me about your feelings. She's like, no, I don't have any.
I think
Okay,
that's so
girl.
important for girls though to have those that type of a father figure that's just loving and active in there, makes them feel secure, makes them feel safe.
Oh yeah.
You know, it just makes them grow up into being incredible women.
Well, yeah, she's going to go out in the world. She's going to be looking. That's the
Oh,
example.
yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
the
what
example.
that's her expectation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It's I remember you said something a minute ago, D. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it triggered a memory for me when I feel like I was like, okay, enough of the madness. Is like my dad, who, you know, he passed away, I don't know, about 10 years ago, maybe a little more. But to the day he died, he like hated my mom. They got divorced when I was, I don't know, early 80s, mid 80s.
Oh yeah.
And she left him, understandably. He was like that kind of old school womanizer thing. And so she was like, no thanks. And he had, I mean, verbal hate. I don't know if it was actually in his heart. To the day he died. I mean, there was never forgiveness. He never talked to her again. And I clearly remember, like, I am not going to feel like that about her.
I'm so pretty lovable.
Powerful shit, man.
Yeah.
So, and that was a change, you know. And then somewhere in there, right? Then we started moving forward.
Oh yeah.
And then, I mean,
That was you breaking that
Yeah.
generational.
trying, wanted
Yeah.
to.
Yeah,
And
you
I'm
did
like,
it.
man, it's I guess we have.
Yeah, it's but
Pretty
a
cool.
continuous doing it, right?
Yeah, it's
It's
an
a-
active thing. It's a proactive thing because it can come and go. everything's ebbs and flows, right? We all
Yeah.
got our freaking moon cycles in our own head.
Sure,
You know,
yeah,
that
yeah.
we're when shit's hard, shit's better.
Yeah,
Right? So,
yeah.
but if I think our baseline is so well established now. It's like fucking yeah, let's go. Like anything, like so, and we got a pretty badass tribe, man.
yeah,
I think that's the best tribe.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's kind of fun now seeing our son become a dad and
yeah,
his relationship with his wife. It's so fun to see because
Yeah.
he just loves her. He knows what healthy relationships look like.
Yeah.
Like, because, with my current husband and his wife, like he's got that model now. Instead of being modeled the negativity, he was modeled what love is and what understanding is, what
Forgiveness is-
acceptance, forgiveness. Because he might not, Ember not so much, but Rage saw some shit.
Mhm.
He did. He was in the heat of it. He was in the thick of it.
Because he was probably 10-ish.
When we separated, no, we
A little
separated. We're
earlier.
a little bit before that, but I
Okay.
mean,
Maybe
with
like
the
7,
deployments
7.
and
Mhm.
as young, what people do in really young marriages where there's a lot of stress, you drink.
Mhm.
Yeah,
We were not exempt from that.
yeah.
So he saw a lot of that, and then military, they drink. So
Mm-hmm.
with that came a lot of arguments,
yeah,
and
just
Rage was front and
dumb
center
shit.
for a lot of it. So to this day, he's not a big alcohol guy at all, because he's seen. So he got a lot of life lessons, some good, some bad, but I think it really shaped him
Yeah.
to who he is. And to see us kind of come full circle like he has, I think that whether he realizes it or not, like it's like kind of built his emotional intelligence
Yeah.
as well, because he just adores his family, and it's so fun to see,
Mhm.
like he's not doing what we did. He's not
Yeah.
making those mistakes that
Thank
we
God.
did.
Yeah.
So you just get to sit back as a parent and be like, well, we fucked up a lot, but we did a lot right.
There was
right?
good things in that, right? Like
There
I
was
think
lessons in all
there's
of it.
lessons, and he
There's
picked up on
lessons
those
in it,
lessons.
yeah,
And I love. I have a theory. I'm not a doctor person, so I don't know if
Yeah.
there's any weight to this, but I feel that a healthy young man can take things out of any relationship. Like I look back at my childhood. My parents are still married. I came from a very well, I don't say normal. They're a very Catholic family, but like there are things I really appreciate about my dad, and there's things I really didn't like about him, right? And when I grew up, I told myself when I had a son or had sons that I was going to make sure that I focused on what I got from my father and picked the things that I made sure I did the things that I wanted to do based off of what I saw and didn't like from him. So I think that's really cool that you can say that your son did the same thing
Oh, yeah.
in your relationships, And the other thing I want to capitalize on is we always focus on how a couples who are married and how healthy that is. So that's great. But I think there's other types of healthy relationships. And that's basically what this whole conversation is about. And you guys have a very, very healthy relationship. Not because you're married, but because you guys made a choice
Right.
to, raise kids, be a family
Choice. That's the
Mid- yeah,
perfect word. We
exactly.
made a choice.
Mhm.
every
Yeah,
single day.
Yeah.
I,
Every day, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like when I've talked
Some
to
days
people,
I choose violence.
yeah.
Not today.
I feel like sometimes when I say, or I'm talking to someone about this, and I talk about the choices in there, the receiver, they oversimplify a single word of that choice, right? Because that choice is hard, and that choice is sometimes takes days, months, years to continue to choose, right? Because even as I say certain things, like I feel like I'm oversimplifying, like, oh, we just got along, I love her husband, and it's all great, and that's how it worked. That's why it worked.
No.
And it's nice because
It's work.
man, there's so
Yeah.
much work and
There's
behind
work.
it, all
Yeah.
worth it. But it's for anybody listening, it's like, man, that forgiveness piece, and I know I'm repeating it, but it's a proactive thing. It's just like happiness is not like you get there and all of a sudden you stop
Yeah.
doing the things that got you happy, right? It's got to work. Got to put the mental work in.
Yeah. 100%.
Towards yourself, right? Because it's understanding. Without understanding yourself and emotions and your behavioral patterns and your decision making patterns, right? Which all connects back to emotional health. Which I think there was the period, at least from my growing up, the men at my dad's age and then around my age, we didn't have those examples. When my mom got divorced from my dad and she ended up remarrying eventually, he was the first example in my life of what a good man was.
Mhm.
And I think they got married when I was like 10 or something. And my dad was a good man in his own way. He was sweet and loving, but
Cared for his family.
but
Provided, good provider. Yeah.
And how he was in a marriage was not healthy. He was not a good husband. And so it's not like he was just like this terrible like piece of shit human, but like his behavioral patterns were not healthy for a family. So I think for me and my stepdad, I call him Pops. So I don't.
Everybody calls him Pops.
Yeah, everyone calls him
Rest
Pops.
in peace, Pops.
Pops, amazing. He
Yeah.
gave like the entire like my first cousins on my mom's side, first second cousins, all of us. He was the first example in like my family, like the big picture family. I think for her
Oh God,
too.
yeah, for me as
You know,
well.
because she came in the picture when we were like 17, 18 or whatever, of an example of a good man. And I remember like him just being so chill about stuff and like calm and cool. Like I remember specifically, I broke a lamp one time. You know, this was when my mom's marriage to him was really relatively new, and it was an accident. I'm fucking around the house as a kid, and he was just, I was ready to get like blasted. He was like, cool man, just like chill out in the house. And it was strange. It was new territory. I'm like, wait, what? There's no
Yeah.
chaos following this?
Yeah,
Like, how come? Right. So it was definitely an adjustment. Excuse me. There's another path.
I'd say Pops kind of healed your whole family on that side.
100%.
Yeah, Pops passed away, cancer, not too long ago.
Yeah, not even 4. 2
Yeah,
years
and
ago,
so
almost
we
2.
went. Were you there? Yeah, you were there. I'm like, were you there? I don't even know if he's there. It's his family's house. He was there, but I flew down. My daughter flew up, and it was just amazing to see the amount of family that came together from a man who, not blood, but was just willing to put ego aside and just be so full of love.
Yeah.
Like the amount of healing that this one person did to an entire generation of people, there's no words to describe it. And it was all because he was willing to come in, subordinate his ego, and he was just full of love for everybody that was around him.
Yeah.
So amazing man. And it was, my dad passed away when I was young, so I didn't have a father upbringing. So he was kind of that for me as well. And that's, again, a blended family.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to be bad. It doesn't have to be bad,
Yeah.
but it does take work.
It does. Guys, I got a frog in my throat.
Got a
I'm
frog.
I got some water in my truck. I'll be right back. Sorry. I'm sitting here like,
That's
Yeah.
why you're looking at
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I have a tissue. He's like getting emotional. You know?
Right, Michael, right.
Right. He's like,
He's like, got a little thing. Also, I got something
let
in
it
my
go,
eye.
Mike. It's okay, man.
I
We're
got something in my eye.
yeah.
Unedited.
You had something in your eye earlier.
Oh, did I?
You were. Yeah, you're
No,
starting
he
to
was eating
bitch up.
popcorn.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
is that
salt.
what it was? It was the salt.
Yeah,
that-
got
a
it.
little something.
It's
I know,
fine.
we'll get some water too.
I also need some water. Actually, I got a Red Bull.
Oh, okay. We'll just keep going. We're not waiting. He'll be fine. This is a good question. Nobody gets it perfect. What are some moments where you look back and you could have done better?
When you called the cops on me that one time, you
Which
could have done
time?
that better.
Which time?
This is where it gets good.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. What was the question? What was the question?
When you look back, where could
Sorry
you
about that.
a moment, a certain specific moment, right, where you could have done better? Do you have any?
Oh, there's so many.
Give me
Yeah.
a good one.
Well, you know,
I want a good one.
I could definitely think
So you
a
use,
moment,
what do they
Well-
call it when you hold something over somebody's head?
like a
Ransom or something? No,
Mm,
whatever that word is.
Whatever that
I don't
word
know.
is.
See that we talked about that.
Yeah.
Whatever that word is, that's the stuff I want.
I'd have to think about a moment.
Bribery.
Huh?
Bribery.
Oh, that's what the right
Oh,
word. Leverage.
There you go.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Fulcrum?
So a moment. I mean, I'm sure I could come up with moments where I could have done better, and I will here in a minute. But the first thing that came to my head was not necessarily a moment, but behavioral pattern that was like countless moments over the years. Biggest regret, drinking so much around the kids
Yeah.
and just being party animal and letting that be part of their experience growing up. Even though we were there, and unfortunately they were there too while we were partying. So it's not like we were like we didn't really hit bars that much. It was
No.
always in the household,
Yeah.
barbecue.
I couldn't afford
neighbors.
daycare, so I had to bring them
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was always daycares.
So,
I mean, not daycares, but barbecues.
Right. Yeah.
The
Barbecues.
beach. We lived in San Diego, right in Pacific Beach, and we're poor. I mean, military. You need to pay their service members
So,
more.
yeah. It was.
Yeah.
That was my biggest.
So we
like,
went to the beach.
behavioral
Yeah.
pattern.
There was a
that I
lot of drinking.
Drinking is
There's
like
a lot of
you know,
drinking.
there's no way to cut it. Drinking, there's no positives, right? You might have some fun, but cool, whatever. But it's not like you remove it, there's not like a negative consequence ever.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and so
It's a great way. Say that again.
if you remove drinking, there's not a negative consequence ever.
Yep.
Like, you know, there's no,
No, your health gets better.
yeah, stress gets better,
Stress
your
gets better.
perspective grows.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you don't feel like shit in the morning, trying to counteract that, you know, with some,
Yeah.
some other, you know, Red Bulls or coffee or, like, you know, terrible sleep.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, regrets and stuff. One of the things that was horrific, and also talking about when we were in the courts and stuff like that, you know, we invited outside influence into our life by way of the legal system. And that was horrible.
yeah,
Had to, you know, court ordered because of the mudslinging.
yeah.
Court ordered our children at a very small age had to go see guardian ad litem for the court
Yeah.
because we couldn't communicate at the time, right? And it was horrible. Like my son had the court ordered that he go to counseling. Remember that? He still, yeah. Remember we had to go see that one lady. It was part of the whole thing.
No, I don't.
Because
that's
there,
not-
there's little things I remember. There was little things in the mudslinging that it was like, you know, your accusations of causing intentional stress, and you know, children like were having stomach issues or having physical effects because of the intentional stress that we were putting on them. So yeah, it was court ordered that my child, I had to take him to a counselor, and he was like, he to this day, me and my son talked about it like as an adult now. He remembers that, and he hated that because he said the lady would try to like convince him like, what's the problem and what are you doing wrong?
Yeah,
Like,
that's terrible.
yeah, and it was like we put that stress on him because we couldn't get our shit together.
Yeah.
And that's when we were like, this is fucking wrong, dude. This ain't freaking right. This isn't. We've got outside people who don't know us. You know, there was a time when we were like a loving husband and wife that were raising 2 kids, and we can still get back to not being the husband and wife part, but that respect thing. We got to get back to
back to mom and dad.
respecting each other as parents to these kids. But that was like, oh my God, like, what am I doing? This is insanity. This is insanity. I have to stop this. So huge for me when you talk about regrets. You know, I should have subordinated. I shouldn't have been calling him and trying to interject, irregardless if I thought like what my feelings were. We weren't married anymore, and he was in another relationship, and I needed to respect that. But there was things that I couldn't get past that I wish that I could have taken. Now that, you know, I've been through some shit in life recently, but I wish I would have just taken a back seat and then just been more of an ear for homeboy instead of lecturing at him. Because I think that was a lot of our drama. Is I was like, no, this, and this. I was almost acting like I was still his wife. I was bitching at him all the fucking time about things, and it just added stress.
You know, and I never took it as like you were, even though I pushed back. Like, I mean, I think there was an aspect of me that knew you were right, because it's not like she didn't want me to be in the relationship because I was
Validated.
Yeah.
Oh, let me get my recorder.
It's on camera.
It's on
so-
camera. You're good. You're good.
That's
It's
gonna be my
documented.
ringtone. Anytime he calls, you were right.
You were right.
Your ringtone.
That's what All right, go ahead, sorry.
Remix
I
it.
digress.
She's like, no, keep talking.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
sorry.
Hey, start back right before, you know, say it again.
Say
Restart.
a little louder this time.
There was an aspect where I knew she was right, but I was in a new relationship. You know, I was gonna get married, or if not, at some point was married through the same, because it was, you know, crossed over. And I just doubled down, right? I was like, no, defend the home front. She's wrong. New wife, protect at all costs. Even though that, you know, I think in the back of my mind there was an aspect of she was right. So I never took it as she wanted me back in a relationship. I never did. But you know, she's, man, you know her. She's a bear, man. She's like,
I've spotted her.
Yeah.
yeah.
She's aggressive.
She's like,
I am.
like, what's her name from Sons of Anarchy? Gemma.
Gemma?
Like, yeah. You know, the freaking patriarch or matriarch. Man, she's a matriarch of the family. I knew she was being protected, but you know, in my undeveloped senses at the time, I just doubled down and pushed back, protected, and like, she's totally wrong.
But even like with that marriage, I mean, we got something amazing out of it. His son is, I love that kid.
My 15-year-old.
But there was lessons from that I think aided in how healed together too.
Totally.
Like I don't know if we would have this strong of a bond if we didn't have, if we hadn't, if our road hadn't taken us to a very deep place, dark place, to where we traveled together out of that, to find light and balance.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just me and him; it was Jamie as well.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, he was there through all of it.
100%.
Yeah, he was there through all of it.
Through all of
I
it.
think actually the guardian ad litem in our case basically was like Jamie's. He needs to be a constant in these kids' life.
Keep
Safe
you
zone,
two
safe zone, safe
fucking
zone,
straight
yeah.
and narrow.
He actually made a comment because he had to be involved in that too, like where he
Yeah.
had to be interviewed. If anybody has any, not interest, that's the wrong word. My brain sometimes
It's like presents.
experience. Yeah, if anybody has any experience with guardian ad litems, not fun when you have government or nothing like this coming
It's
involved in
government.
your freaking relationship.
Yeah.
And we opened the door. We allowed it. We opened the door and we invited that devil in.
Yeah.
So then we had to work together to kick that motherfucker out.
Yeah.
So.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So we wouldn't. You say like, do we have regret? I have zero regrets on anything.
Yeah.
Zero.
Not for where we
Just
are.
lessons learned.
Lessons learned.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have no
Right.
regrets
Yeah.
because I wouldn't be who I am. Our children wouldn't be who they are without the ugly.
Yeah. No regrets because we're here, but man, I am sorry for some of that.
Yeah. I forgive you.
I know. You have to. I ain't going nowhere.
You know I love you. I love this motherfucker.
Yeah.
I told you, motherfucker cries all the
I
time.
know, man.
He's
You're
like going through
especially, like,
menopause. Shit, man.
I know it's all that freaking emotional health.
Do you need some
You
water?
bug somebody. I know.
He's ready to replenish.
I know.
Leave him alone.
Well, and
You big
one of
bully.
the things I know.
I am. I'm totally. I'm
Like,
sensitive.
clean it up.
I know.
But such
Pull
a,
it
so much,
together.
such
Get
a
your-
better
get
way
your
to live
shit
life
together.
too, right? Like when you put the time in now, there's the good days, bad days. You guys have gone through a lot of work to get where you are right now. But in return, you guys got to live a life where it's like you don't have to worry about so and so showing up at a game or
Oh,
a
no.
wedding,
Freedom,
or you know what I mean.
man.
You're so like I remember watching Christopher play baseball, and you'd see there was this one family. I don't remember the name, but they were really really good at co-parenting, and it was just so like it was such a beautiful thing to watch. Like their son would hit a home run, and both parents are super happy and excited, and they both give them a hug together. And then there's these other couples that's like, oh, ex-husband over there, other side of the, like,
Yeah.
like what a terrible way to spend the rest of your life, just wondering if
Staring
that
each
other
other
person
down.
is going to show up and
Yeah.
like be
Yeah.
awkward and all that.
Harboring all that hate,
Yeah.
all that negative.
Yeah. So props to you guys.
Yeah,
Like,
thanks.
it is a lot of work. It isn't easy. It wasn't easy, right? But the payoff is you get to
Yeah.
spend the rest of your life not have to feel that way.
Well, and I
you
do
know.
hope that. I hope that, especially when, like with social media,
Mhm.
because I'll tag this fool and everything. And I hope I've had a lot of people come to me like, wow, that's so amazing that
Yeah,
you can
same.
do that. So I hope that like our example
Mhm.
has helped other families kind of grow. I mean, one thing he did early on, like with I think Liz, like you'd be like, hey, I've got, I've got my kids, mom, we have a good relationship, and I'm not interested in that, like
With
being
every-
messed with
yeah.
or having that. And she was just like, no, of course.
Yeah. Every relationship I've gotten, like after, let's say after
Yeah, he
the
kind of
second marriage,
sets
and
the
I kind of
stage.
started understanding myself and became the person
Mm.
that could be in a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
One of the first things I would tell the people is, hey, look, this is my life scenario, and I love it.
Yeah.
Right? I love my ex. I love her husband. I stay at their house. We raise our kids together. When I go up, I stay at their house when I come up to visit. And if you're not going to be okay with that, then we're not going to work. And I mean, and I've had, potential relationships in the past where like I could see they were uncomfortable with it,
Yeah.
and then things just didn't develop. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's-
But that was a like has to happen.
It has
That
to. It's
has to.
family. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like there's no
Yeah.
way to say like, no, I'm not gonna be okay. I mean, if they did, hey, cool. I hope you have an amazing life, but you're square peg round hole.
Yeah.
Don't fit. So,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so it's big props to the significant other on the other side
Yeah.
too. Like they got to be willing.
Yeah.
It's a tribe. It takes a tribe.
We talked about how you guys, like your spouses, were like, very good about helping with this with Jamie and,
Yeah.
And your
Liz,
wife
yeah.
Liz. But did you guys ever, were there other family or friends that like also helped you through this? Because I feel friends can sometimes be a double-edged
Oh,
sword, right? Where they're just feeding your ego and they just want you to feel better, but they're not really thinking about you.
right.
Or and they have some friends that I actually are really good friends, and they say, "Hey, no, actually, like put in the work, do this. You're fucking up right
Well,
now, or whatever."
ours is kind of unique. I mean, because I've known him since I was what, 16.
Yeah.
We were
Okay, assuming you
kids.
guys went to high school together.
Oh, we were kids.
They're different
So
towns, but yeah,
Okay.
same.
yeah,
we have some
so
groups,
like
kind of.
Okay.
my really like my best friend in the world, she loves the shit out of him. And when it was time to hate him, oh, we hated him.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it was time to heal, she was on board with me. Okay, it's
Mhm.
time to heal. Like
Mhm.
she backs my play. She tells me when if I'm being unreasonable. She'll be like, "You're not being really reasonable." So
Mhm.
she's willing to check me,
Good.
but
Good.
she always supported. Like I said, if we were gonna burn him down, she was like getting her
Cool.
steak. Yeah, she's like, "All right, we'll burn this motherfucker down. I love you, Steve, but you got to go." But and now, so that is really important having a person like that. And I had her, and like when it was really bad, I'd call her, and then when it started getting better, I'd call her, and she would really give me the life advice or I don't know,
Yeah.
finish my sentence.
Life advice, or at least someone to talk to, so
Yeah,
you get those thoughts in order and not
Mhm.
just
she
being
wasn't always
negative when
pouring
it was an
gas on it.
opportunity.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
is what I'm saying.
Good.
Because that is
Yeah.
true. Like if you are who you surround yourself by.
Yep.
So if I'm surrounding myself by a bunch of negative people, they're
Mhm.
gonna, because people just love chaos. They
Guys,
love drama.
yes,
They like to take
yes.
that spoon and they want to stir that spoon.
Yeah, you
They
do.
don't
It's
ever
a
want to
very
lick
good
it.
point.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just that's
Separate
part of
'em.
it too. You have to separate yourself from those
Mhm.
people that aren't feeding positive things in your life. If they're only feeding the devil and not the angel,
Yeah.
then you gotta be willing to recognize that. And not everybody needs to be in your life for all seasons.
Right.
You know.
Very good.
This is
Yeah,
what I
well
tell.
said.
So Michael's that guy for me. I'll come to him and tell him about the fuckery that's going on.
Yeah. You gotta
And
have
then
a
the first thing
friend.
he always says, "Okay, but what about you?
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
did you look at it this way? Did you? Where's your?" He's always like, "Where's your accountability?" And I'm like, "You're wrong. You're not listening to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
This isn't about me.
misunderstood.
Yeah.
You didn't
No,
even hear.
I'm right. You just yeah.
You just listen to my ego. Okay,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
always right.
Yeah.
He's never steered me in the wrong direction. I mean, we're solid.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I had, okay, so again, like I could be, I don't want to speak for you, and I don't want to sum it up incorrectly, but only because like I'm like big on message and not a general like you got to do the work, right? Which is true, but like, what does that mean? You know, so what I'm hearing is like set the ego down,
Oh, yeah.
right? Pride, set them down. Um, Communication, effective communication, right? Healthy communication where you respect each other and nothing's off the table. You guys sounds to me like everything is discussed.
Yeah.
Um, and I think you kind of Steve hit on it, and it's something that I'm actually writing about right now, diving into it, and that's the everything starts here, internal. Uh, kind and maybe we might be on like the same path because like I find myself often going internal and and I'll have discussions with myself, and I'll write and all the things. And at the age that I'm at now, I'm finding that everything starts here. Everything is first accountable here. I'm finding a lot of healing now in here, and so kind of anyway, kind of just I'm not gonna cry.
You gonna fucking cry
Yeah,
now?
I'm
You
not
gonna
gonna
fucking
cry.
I mean,
Yeah.
He got emotional. Look at that.
I am a man. I can do push-ups on my knees.
Let's go right now.
My elbows are
Right
shot.
now.
But no, I still like if they're like you had to sum up like what the work is and what it takes, like choosing whatever that is, whether it's your kids or your relationship or your ego,
Mhm.
right? You whatever you choose, whatever you choose, that's what you that's I don't know to finish the sentence, but whatever you choose, that's where you put your that's what's most important, I guess, right? And that's where you make your decisions. But again, just yeah.
What is it? You gotta, which dog you're feeding isn't there? quote or something on that.
Yeah.
Like, which dog you're feeding.
In your internal, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
You guys need somebody like Joe Rogan. He's like, look that up, Jamie.
Yeah,
What's
we
that
need it.
quote?"
Yeah, exactly. We do
You-
need that.
You need a, hey, can you look up that quote about, which energy,
Yeah.
which dog you're feeding? You got
Yeah.
a bad dog and a good dog.
Yeah. So I mean, like, if I had to sum up the message, that would be it. Internal work. You got to go internal. You got to be accountable for all your shit. You have to look at your pride and your ego and be like, hey, we've gotten in plenty of trouble. I'm gonna have to. You're gonna have to sit this one out.
Yeah, people need to not be afraid to seek help too. There's a lot of healing and benefit in work like that, like
Mhm.
having going to see somebody professional.
Yeah,
Like
counseling.
there's still counseling. There's still a
Yeah.
stigma where people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
especially on the male side.
Yeah, and
So,
there,
like, or
it's-
if they
very
do
much
go,
so.
it's kind
Yeah.
of secret. They don't like
Yeah,
sharing with their friends.
yeah.
But I don't think that's a good path. I see the
Books, yeah.
changes
Yeah.
are coming,
Yeah.
but
There's what is it? Is it stigma? There's stigma with that because it's associated to shame. That's another thing I
Yeah.
was kind of diving into, right? It's like shameful, but shame is the precursor to honor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you can't have one without the other.
Yeah, you can't have success without failure first.
Yeah. So if we could, steer away from that,
I feel like shame is somehow attached to ego too.
100%.
not
yeah,
mine,
it's like
but yeah.
Ego is the
Not
shame
mine.
to the rest of you people.
Yeah, maybe for you.
By the way,
Speak for yourself, Steve.
I'm super humble too.
Yeah, so modest over here. Yeah. Yeah.
So
But yeah, man, I think in my head, and for me, the big thing was forgiveness, man, and that's part of that internal thing, man. It's at all costs because there's so much hurt coming from a divorce, whether the best case scenario or the worst case scenario, right? It's pain. And
yeah.
I would like tell people, like, understand the steps of shit, I'm having a brain fart. What's it called when you lose something? Grief. Understanding the steps of grief,
Yeah.
because that's a huge part of understanding where you're at emotionally. And whether it's you get fired from a job, someone passes away, or you're losing a relationship, short or long term. Short term, it's like we don't even notice it half the time. But you're gonna go through those stages of grief. It's human nature, and understanding you come in and out of each stage, right? And
Mhm.
And you can, and the stages can fluctuate.
yeah,
Yeah,
Go
just
for
because
it.
you're like, you know what, I feel pretty good. I'm healed. No.
yeah. Well, damn, I'm back on number one again.
Yeah.
Denial,
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
Recognize,
So,
right? Recognition of
yeah.
where you're at.
And that goes back to that emotional intelligence,
Yeah.
which makes you a better husband, dad, wife, mom,
Human.
friend to
Just,
yourself.
yeah, just human, better
Yeah.
person.
Because it starts with you,
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
and
relationship, right? With me.
100%. Right, there's a relationship with
Yeah.
yourself, right? If that's I feel like I'm in a place now where I understand better than ever, that my relationship with myself directly affects
Everything.
and I think we all, I've known that, I've heard it for years on the logical side, but I didn't understand it or apply it emotionally.
Mhm.
And now I totally get that, and I'm like, man, it's wild.
Mhm.
Because however the level I take care of myself is kind of the cap that how I take care of other people. So
The capacity of it, right?
yeah,
Yeah, you can only show up for people to the level that you've done the internal work for yourself.
But you got to put your oxygen mask on first.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 for real.
that's wild. That's
Yeah,
so cool.
if you can't learn to love yourself or be with yourself, then you can't be there or be something for anybody else
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
Forgive yourself for all the crazy, dumb stuff, hurtful things you've done. It's like, go meditate, think about it. We avoid it so much, and we don't even. Half of us block probably a good portion of our memories out of the hard stuff we did, or bad stuff we did to others, or the bad stuff that was done to us, right? And that's man. You got to chase those demons. You got to freaking wrestle with them, experience them, so you can heal past them.
Agreed.
It's painful, but worth it for sure.
Yeah,
What he said.
that's very good.
Yeah.
Light it. The heart is lighter.
It is, man. Life's so much better
Yeah,
with forgiveness. I mean, in love, it sounds super hippie, but it is.
Yeah, those hippies had something
Yeah,
going.
yeah, they might have been on this.
They might,
a little,
little
just a
not
little-
everything
Not
else.
everything.
You know
but-
what? So when we got divorced, and this kind of, I wouldn't have gotten to this place that I'm in now without MMA. Like honestly, like, because it's an ego check for real. And when you first start training, so when we got divorced, I was a bar fly for probably 6 months, just in unhealthy shit, and then I was had some recognition. Like, what am I doing here? Like, and so I picked up the yellow pages. I didn't have a phone with the internet at the time. Looked through MMA, and that was when we were the only one I found. The one I found close to the house or whatever was Landing Spot, aka the old spot.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked in, and I was like, dude, like, you ready to
It's
start
actually
training?
what kind of brought, because it was that you go into Landon's gym and you train with Rage, and then I was like, I want to feel somewhere that I can feel safe in a safe space with myself and spend time with my child. That's really important to him, and that's what led us to C3.
Yeah,
Okay.
what brought us all together,
Yeah,
man.
so it's like the full kind of circle of why we're sitting here today talking about it. So you're
Yeah.
absolutely
It-
right. And when you're having a bad day, and there was so many on both of us, where we both, he had his safe space there with at Landon's gym, and
I call it
had my
third
safe,
space.
yeah, I had my safe space, where I could go and get frustrations out, and it does keep you grounded, it keeps you balanced, and it puts the energy, the negative energy, where it needs to be.
Yeah.
And that's with your physical and getting it out
Yeah.
that way in a healthy way, as opposed to just stewing on it. So I agree with you. Like I credit a lot of that to like we put Rage. Was he like 5?
No,
Was
we
he
started.
6?
He started
Oh,
traditional.
because he did the
Like
AT.
ATA, and
Hiya,
then,
hiya.
yeah, and I think it was about 8 or so
Taekwondo.
when we started at Landon's, and yeah, Landon was awesome. Landon, man, I needed a friend then, and he was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Now
Look
I'm
at me, like so. But it's awesome, and so
He's
him and
got
I,
something in his
man,
eye
back
again.
him and I, we had dinner last night, and I love the dude. He's done more to adjust the trajectory in my life than he realizes. Not only from the friendship side, but from the coach side.
Yeah.
And then and I had a really awesome work schedule then, so I was like living at the gym, taking, I was there by noon every day, and then Rage got in the same program, and then like she said, we kind of grew. And
So it's like finding that healthy outlet for yourself.
yeah,
And
that's
like
the
people
best.
don't, and it's still, it all goes back to you got to take care of yourself.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. And
Yeah.
best case scenario, like husband, wife, kid, and we all need our third space, right? We have family, we have home. Where do you socialize? Like, where do you free your mind? Where's your hobby? I mean, it should be. I'm not telling people how to live lives, but in my head, it's like, why wouldn't it be a hobby?
Yeah.
Hobbies are things you love. Hobbies rarely are something that's like God, I hate to go do this thing. So
Right.
if you can cut out a slice of your life, I just think it makes healthier people if we all have our own individual place to go and be us without the influence of work and family. Go recharge our batteries, and MMA, like resets the ego, really develops in
it's
a healthy
healthy.
place, because
Yeah.
every dude, from time they hit freaking puberty on is like, oh, I kick his ass,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And then you get into a place where it's, you're surrounded by savages, and they're like beating the crap out of you and being cool
At the same time.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then you're
yeah.
like, wait, this doesn't compute.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then it's like, oh, it's okay not to be the toughest guy around. Oh, it's
Mhm.
okay to be around, put myself in a position where I'm vulnerable. And that's like, especially from a guy's perspective, we avoid that. We avoid those hard places where we're physically vulnerable to other men.
Mhm.
And so I think that's where MMA, jiu-jitsu, whatever aspect of it, where it's that health aspect grows, is because it's like, we're going in a spot where we're like genetically designed not to be like, no, I don't want to go where I'm not the best, So it's like we continue to put ourselves there, and just exercises this muscle in our head that gets
Yeah.
atrophied, because most of the time we just avoid that difficult thing as guys, where no, we want to have this half, lie point of view of, oh yeah, I kick his ass,
Yeah. Yep.
which is just, falsity most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And go back to that ego thing, where it's like,
Mhm.
go somewhere where you can exercise it, and exercise it means
In a
like
healthy way.
understand that your ego is the enemy. So
I dig it. That's perfect.
but I do say that I don't, because there's a healthy aspect to ego too, right? Because it's like, it's not going anywhere, it's part of us, so I don't want to be like too judgmental of it, like, oh no, it's terrible. It's just like any other.
It's learning how to discipline it.
Yeah.
Learning how, like, because if you walk in, if you've never trained before, and then when you walk in and you get beat up by a girl, it's, you don't have the choice. They got it. Just she took it, fucking gone. I'm like, what in the fuck just happened? What was that?
Yeah.
Right. But then you learn humble, right? And then so now you start learning the balance of it, because eventually you get to a point where you're like pretty damn good at what you're doing as far as skill level, right? Well, when you get there, then you start learning, oh, well, I have an ego, but I know that I can set it down at any moment. I navigate it. I decide where it goes, when to use it and when not to use it, because I know how to walk in humbleness
Right.
at the same
Dude,
time.
and it's a sneaky freaking bitch, man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Whenever I'm like think I'm in a good place and I get checked, I'm like, oh fuck
Yeah. Yep.
lies, you tricked me again.
It's just, oh yeah, that's why we
Yeah.
love this place.
Yeah.
It keeps you where you need to be, keeps you on the straight and narrow.
Absolutely.
And all the bullshit out in the world, you can't you can bring it onto the
Yeah.
mats,
Good luck with that.
but you're gonna
Right.
pay the price for it in a negative way. So you leave it and then you just go do what you do. It'll be there when you're done. You'll go pick it up, and then when you get back to it, you have a different perspective, because all that energy that you were holding with
Yeah.
it, you just spent it, so you don't have that anymore. So
Right.
now you're at a little calmer of a
Totally agree.
place, right? And you just
100%.
pick it up and you're like, okay, I know how to navigate this. I've
Yeah.
done this before, or whatever, right? And so that's why I love this place.
Dude.
I don't know what I would do if I didn't have it. This place, not this place, you know what I mean by this
Yeah.
place, right?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
place has
Absolutely.
gotten me through every storm in my life, every single one of them. And if I don't, it just, it's the truth. The mats don't lie.
Nope.
Yeah,
It shows
man.
you exactly what you're made of, where you're deficient, and
That
where
would be
your
a great
strengths.
name of a book.
The
It
mats
sure
don't
The
lie.
Mats Don't Lie. You
Yeah.
might have just named your next.
You know, I think what we find in gyms too, sometimes good, sometimes bad, that we, especially men, avoid because we, for some reason, we're back to the ego, right? Is leadership, and um, I'm sure women too, but speaking strictly from a male perspective, oftentimes we look at leadership as like what, you know, like I don't need that. I'm good, right? And so find a place, especially if you have a healthy coach that's in a healthy, I mean, mentally healthy coach, and they understand leadership, the techniques of leadership, and how to bring a team together and move us forward together as a team. And I'm not just talking about the fight team, but as
Yeah.
an organization, move forward towards something positive, some energy, just goodness, right? It's like that's leadership, and that's like, so I encourage, like, whether it's coaches, parents, um, whatever, individuals, right? Because there's even self leadership. Like read books on leadership,
Yeah.
understand
Oh, yeah.
team dynamics and how
Mhm.
important that is to not only a family, a church,
Yeah.
a team, right? That's and submit yourself to find a male, right? Find another male role model and submit yourself to his ways to a certain level, right? You got to maintain yourself too, but
Yeah.
be willing to follow somebody, right? Because it's a that in itself is an atrophied skill, and if you don't have the skill set to be a follower, you're not going to have the
Mhm.
skill set to be a leader.
True. Yeah.
Agreed.
And
I would
so,
agree.
and that's
Agreed.
the family atmosphere too, right? There's leadership. It's family's a team, and we treat it different than a team for some reason, oftentimes. And so, if you're a good leader and you have those traits and just like the basic, and you're still going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, the family's so much better for it. And for dudes, it don't always mean you got to be in charge, right? Like Dee is definitely the alpha personality, and with myself and her husband, right? And we're cool with it. We're like, handle it. Life's easy. Like, cool.
Yeah.
She'll
Yeah.
keep us safe.
I got you.
Yeah, see, I appreciate it. And,
Yeah.
right. And again, kind of go from the male perspective, I think a lot of dudes have a hard time with that. And so, understand yourself, then you understand. If you understand yourself as single, you're going to find the match for you even better, and that
Mhm.
relationship will be even healthier. So, I mean, that mental health piece, especially for dude perspective, men, is like, get out there, man. Fucking go figure out. It just doesn't have to be, you don't have to be in a negative place to like be curious to why your decision making patterns are the way they are, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's how you do, why do you even get to work so early? Like, are you paranoid about being late? Like, just understanding decision patterns, even the good ones, right? And then it just feeds the rest of your life if you
Yeah,
can
you have to be
understand yourself.
comfortable also with being uncomfortable. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people, like he was saying before, like they want to be the best in the room. Well, like when you're trying to heal something that was once broken, you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And you can't, there's no competition. Like, I think a lot of times people who separate, then it becomes a me versus them, and or they want their kid to like them the most, or they're
Yeah.
worried about the next significant other, like their children, like, or with me it was it weighed, it did, like having another woman that was going to be a role model for my daughter, I think was the biggest thing that led me to start pushing back, which I think caused us a lot of issues, because it was a certain extent, it was like ego, and I didn't want this person to have influence over my child. And, I just had to let go of control,
Yeah.
right? Like I was trying to control everything, and people try to control things in their children's lives. And he said it the best, like early on, people will say all the time, I'll freaking kill for my kids. I'll do everything, anything for my kids. Well, will you?
Yeah. Will you?
Will
Yeah.
you? Let's really put that to the test. And I think divorce is one of the biggest tests. Will you
Yeah.
really put your children first?
It's a great point. It's like what you were saying.
Yeah.
I could take them.
Yeah.
I could use us.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you? Like,
Let's go. Yeah.
Will you? Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard, painful, amazing work.
It's worth it.
Yeah, 100%. And like, what's the other option? Not. I mean, like
Yeah.
we like hard work. It's life, right? We go through ebbs and flows, and it's like, man, I don't want an aspect of my heart to be like negativity.
You don't have no room for it
Nah,
in life. We only get one go round.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's just no room for it.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
You
I
got
don't want to.
finite amount
Yeah.
of time here.
Yeah,
Right.
my dad went to his deathbed, hate my mom, and hopefully he found some forgiveness, maybe mentally before. But like, man, I always saw that eating him up.
Mhm.
I always saw that eating him up. It was like even talking about it was taboo, and so he missed an aspect of me.
Well, you basically miss like 50% of your child's life.
Yeah.
Say
Yeah.
at the best, you have a 50-50 custody agreement. If you can't do what me and him are doing today, you're going to miss out on 50% of your kid's life. And that's just not your kid's life. That's your grandchild's life.
Mhm.
Like our first grandbaby, first Christmas, first birthday.
Trickle
If we
effect.
couldn't do this, like, okay, well, mom came last time, so this
Yeah.
time we're going to go spend it with dad. Like, I'm like, bitch, where's it? I'm coming. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's the same aspect with my daughter-in-law's family. Like, we're all going to her mom's for Thanksgiving. And I'm like,
Awesome.
I'm coming. Yeah. But what do we bring in? Because now
Mhm.
our family is growing now because we've set this positive foundation. We're able to have this type of relationship with our new in-laws. There's not any of that stress where, you see the movies and Hollywood makes money off of it.
Oh,
When they're
yeah.
like, oh, my mother-in-law, or
Yeah.
they really push, and like through comedy,
Mhm.
like that it's normal to have these dysfunctional relationships. Well, we need to start normalizing this,
And it's enabling it
co-parenting,
too.
like
Yeah.
working together, being willing to grow. I think that's huge. Like
Mhm.
we're all like my thing is like one of my like taglines was like, always remain teachable. And I took a lot of heat for it, like, oh yeah, always remain teachable. But the reality is I probably should not have done that. You sure you don't want to edit? Anyway,
Yeah.
but
No editing.
all right, next subject. But it's true. You got to be able to, I think we owe it to our kids
100%.
to be able to like not have everything figured out, because it shows them too, like he said early on too, was like, people have like their kids older in life and they're more established, and they want to protect their kids. They've read all the books already on parenting,
Mhm.
but and those are the ones that stay together, and they don't have a loving relationship. Children never see their mom and dad hug, or
Yeah.
they never see any affection with them. But then those kids grow up at like 18, and the parents are like, well, we did our job and now we're going to separate. And then the kid thinks their whole fucking life was a lie.
Yeah.
So what's worse? I think there's lessons in all of it.
Yeah.
We made the decision to separate when our kids were small, and like I said, wasn't always kittens and rainbows, sunny and 70. We went through some dark times, but we were able to push through. But I think there's value in that. There's
Oh,
value
yeah.
in all of it.
Mhm.
Life has lessons in everything. So
When
I don't even know what my freaking
that's
point
cool,
was.
flow. Fucking flow.
Yeah, I got
That's it.
lost with my
That's cool.
like.
Nah,
Never mind.
it's all goodness.
Yeah.
Uh, we're, remember when we told Rage we were getting a divorce? we were at the Tulalip house.
Oh yeah,
So we sat him down, and he had to be like 6 or 7, right?
yeah.
Well, and maybe younger.
He was little.
Yeah, geez, because we sat him down, super loving, like like, hey son, we gotta talk to you, and we were both at the house still, and he was we
We had a
watched
book.
we
We had a
watched.
book, didn't we? We bought a book, like a kid's book, and we read it first, and then
I don't remember.
I think we bought a book, but the book didn't work out.
I remember the hilarious part towards the end. I don't know, maybe you don't remember,
Go
but
ahead.
like
Jog my
we
memory.
watched a
had
lot
cancer.
of. He's even at 5, you've probably seen all the Rockies. I don't know,
Okay.
50 times, and then so we tell him we're getting divorced, and he starts crying. Right, and we're like, oh, this is normal. We kind of prepared for this, and he was like, does that mean we're gonna lose a house like Rocky did
Yeah.
in Rocky 4?
Oh, man.
Then we come back from
Yeah.
Russia, or Rocky, I think it was Rocky
Yeah.
5. He comes
Yeah.
back or whatever. We come
Yeah.
back from fighting in Russia, and he had signed his
Yeah.
power of attorney away to his attorney, and
Yeah.
his attorney sold his money.
Yeah.
Right? He lost his house.
Yeah.
Like, that was the
I
first thing out of his
remember- I
head. And
remember
we were
that.
like,
I think we
No,
started laughing.
we
didn't
did,
Yeah.
we
and
did.
then he stopped crying as we started laughing, and he felt safe.
yeah.
Yeah, and then it got ugly afterwards.
Well, years
Yeah,
later.
years later.
But yeah, the beginning was.
The beginning was great.
I remember
yeah.
then he was like, then we talked about like, different houses and the setup, and but we were in that conversation. We're probably one in a million. We got some laughs, and not that we were laughing at the situation, but damn, I think it kept his nervous system relaxed and his mind open, his little heart fresh still, and like, okay, mom and dad still love each other, but there's changes coming, and I'm sure
Yeah.
he has some perspective that I didn't know, understand, but there was a lot of love in that. The moment when we were told him is like, his life was about to significantly change, and he still slept through the night, and we both stayed at the house at night.
Yeah, I mean I think parents get lost in that sometimes, and they think that kids like aren't, kids are pretty resilient, but they also hang on to a lot. And parents, they get lost in their own pain and how their lives are going to be dramatically different, and they lose sight of that their children are also going to be going through some things and going to need some healing, and you can't, like, again, you got to put your oxygen mask on first. And if me and him are just like, who's taking care of our children's like cups like that need filling,
And we
whether it
seem to
be love or
forget
support.
how competent they actually are.
Oh,
and
yeah.
how much they can act. Like you said,
Oh, yeah.
at 5 or 6, how old he was able to reference Rocky.
Yeah,
like,
he's gonna lose his
you know
house.
what I mean? Like, that's
Yeah.
pretty powerful. That's where his mind went.
Yeah.
So like that's something we all need to, like, as we raise kids. I think all of us now, our kids are grown up. I still have one. Well, I have a 15-year-old too. So I'm, I call it the dark side of the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. These lost contactors wait for him to come back around.
That's funny,
So,
man.
yeah. But yeah, it's crazy how much they pick up when they were younger like that.
Yeah.
So
I feel like we did a good job always just making sure, like, talking about the family, right? We have family meetings, talk about hard stuff. I just at least that's what my memory tells me. I just just building that team atmosphere and that protective zone is. I think we generally speaking as parents, excuse me, we protect our kids too much. Kind of going back to like, we don't tell them about our mistakes, and we're like, yeah, high school smoking weed and doing this crazy stuff. Don't do it. Right? We want to come off as polished. Like, I've always been this polished product, right?
Yeah.
It's like, so I would encourage people to share your mistakes, like, any good leader, and again, that's comes from I feel like it comes from a place of fear, probably some ego protecting, where nothing good comes out of fear-based decisions. Like,
No.
I can't let my kids know that because then they might want to, and then it's like, oh man, let them know how fucked up you were, and that you learned and you made it.
Yeah.
And
Then they won't be scared to make mistakes either.
set up an environment where your kids are
Feel
like,
safe.
yeah, dad, I need you.
And you
Stop.
can't do that if you're not willing to do the work. You can't do that. You can't set up the environment for
You
your
haven't earned
children to feel safe in. Yeah, they won't feel safe in.
That blueprint.
And they'll start manipulating you against each other.
Mhm.
Like ours never did that. They knew they couldn't call, like, because I was the hammer. We already talked about that.
Yeah,
We established that
we had three. They had three parents. Like,
they weren't going to get to, mom did this, mom did that. It was going to be like, well, what'd you do? Let's look inward. And they knew that. So.
and then the gym parents, right? There was good role models at the gym.
Oh yeah, they've had.
They were Landon's forever, and then with you at Charlie's, and Charlie, the other coaches, and back then, it was years ago now, but yeah, so we, they had a tribe. It's like not just home tribal, they need it outside the house too, right?
Yeah.
Perspective. So
Yeah.
I mean, you got to watch him grow up, dude. Really.
Yeah.
I mean, and still to this day, you guys, are in contact.
Yeah, he has sent me. So when he went to basic, and then even some years after basic, every once in a while he'd send me a message. Hey, coach, just checking in on you.
Yeah, cool.
How you doing? Miss
Mhm.
you. That I'm like heart melting and shit.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, well, you helped grow that man, dude.
I remember when you don't even remember this, but when Rage was going through the EVCC Running Start program, he used to walk every day. When he was done, he would walk from EVCC to C3 every day. That was his thing. He would get out of class as EV and he would go walk there. And one day, like I was getting gas because I work up in Everett too, and I'm like, that's my kid, like on the other side of like whatever road, I think Colby, maybe, I don't even know. And he was picking up flyers for you for a fight show. And I was like, hey, little fella, get in the car. I'll take you back to the gym. So he's like, okay. So he gets in the car, take the little turd back to C3, and you yelled at him because he got a ride from his mommy.
This doesn't sound like me at all.
No.
Yeah. So I pulled up and I'm like, beep, beep, like, hi. And I'm like, me kids, because I love my, I'm like, I'm that
Yeah.
kind of mom.
He's that
And
kind
then
of
he
kid,
goes
too.
in, yeah, and he's like, send him off with a little sandwich, and he goes back into his little fight gym. He's like, are you a little pussy? You couldn't even walk like a couple blocks up. You had to call your mom for a ride. And he's like, she picked me up. So he got home. He's like, you got me in trouble. It's pretty funny.
That's good.
Anyways,
awesome.
so yeah, so it takes a village,
Yeah.
I think, is the moral of the story.
Village, lots of love, and it's worth all of it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
worth it.
Every painful conversation and every ego healing moment.
And it
wound
was so cool because when Ember was being a little turd, I love you, daughter. I was like, you're going to your dad's. Get your shit.
No, I was in SoCal at the time.
Yeah, she packed
in
up with
San
her
Diego.
little chihuahua.
Yeah, like one day to the next.
Yeah,
She's like,
and
hey.
I was like, get in a car, and she packed it up, and I was like, pick her up. This is her flight, and she had her little chihuahua on Southwest. I actually have the picture
Yeah,
still.
oh, one of the best years of my life when she came live with me down in San Diego.
Yeah.
Loved it. Loved it.
So.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's good. All right.
Guys, thank you so much.
Yeah, no,
for
thank you guys
taking
for
the time
having
to
us.
talk to
I
us.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hope we
Appreciate
covered
it.
everything.
Yeah. No, that was great.
Yeah.
That was a great topic. You guys were
Yeah.
great. I'm sorry I was late. And he was very excited, by the way, to make this podcast.
Oh yeah.
We've been talking about this for about a month now. It's like it'd be really cool to get like a single mom or just like someone that could just tell their story, but we couldn't think of anybody whose story I really want to hear.
Yeah.
So, that would really like have a good story.
We'll probably get some views off it. But
Yeah, exactly. So, and then he called me one. He's like, "Dude, I know the best fucking people."
Yeah.
It's like he's all
And
excited.
it just happened that homie was in town. I was like, hey, he's going to be here.
meant to be.
Let's grow. Yeah.
It lined up the way it's supposed
universe
to.
magic.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
grow. Yeah.
Rick,
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
appreciate
Absolutely.
being able to
Appreciate it.
share some of this, and hopefully,
Hopefully
we-
somebody watches it and that's having a hard time,
yeah,
and they can be like, shit, because we had a hard time, man.
yeah.
We spent the money. We spent the thousands in the court. It's not always the answer. The answer's here,
Yeah,
you know?
it is.
I think it's easy for people, not necessarily the people watching or whatever, but maybe even involved with their lives, to think that we've always been this way.
No.
We worked and we grew.
Yeah.
We put effort, and it's still happy effort, right? It's like effort's good, and so it's like it ain't all magic. A lot of it's grind. So
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
cool.
Team on 3.
Yeah, Will Bundy.
Go team.
Go team on 3. Step up.